you're looking at an end-on view of the Telecaster lying there. What I've just done is drilled the hole for the jack to go in, to plug it in. And, you know, I could be sitting here lying to you, perhaps even persuasively saying, I've come up with a great design idea for how I'm going to do the plate that's going to go over this. But, and I have, so it's not really a lie, but there's a reason for it. I messed this hole up. I used a bit to make this big hole that was just a little bit too large and messy. And the only way to clean things up was to make a hole that's just bigger than I need it to be. So it was certainly larger than one of these by a long shot. I don't know if you can see that, but that's ridiculous. That's just way, way, way too large. But sometimes, you know, out of accidents come great things. So what I've done as a response to this is I've sanded that flat, and I have taken a rough rubbing of that flat area, and I'm going to make a template out of MDF, quite a small one, and then using some pickguard material, 3-ply pickguard material made from perloid plastic, I'm going to make a plate to cover all of that, and I'm going to bevel the edges so it'll have the nice black and white stripes, and I will take the socket out of this mounting plate and mount it on that. And that could look really cool. I mean, perloid isn't used elsewhere on this guitar, which would have made it quite nice and matching, but apart from that, it just could look all right. And let's face it, I've got to do something, because otherwise I'm throwing the guitar away, and that would be silly. So I'm going to go and make the template now, and then I will check the template against this to make sure it is pretty much the right size and shape, and then I will get cracking on the mounting plate. So I took that rubbing and stuck it onto a piece of MDF. It's now rubbing off, but that's fine, it's done its job. I cut it out to shape and sanded the corners and the edges nice and smooth, and now it sits nicely on that flat surface. It's not as large as the flat surface, which is fine. So all I've got to do now is trace that onto the perloid plastic, cut it out, stick it on, route it to shape. Let's go. Okay, so I have cut this wee cover to shape. Now, if you want to see more about how I did this with the template and the router, I've started to make a video about another guitar that I'm making based on the BC Rich Mockingbird, and in that, whenever it comes out, you'll see more about how I do this. So what I'm doing just now is I've got the drill depth set quite shallow, so that it won't go too far in. I'm just going to put my safety glasses back on. And there isn't even an exact science to this. I'm going to put 2 holes over here and 1 over here. The only exact science here is hold it where you want it to sit. Now I've moved it. That's okay. I can position it again by poking the drill through into the hole. I might even, just to be safe, countersink those 2 holes and screw it on, and then drill that one while this is being held in place. Right, I've brought you in for a closer look. I've got those holes drilled in there, and I've countersunk them and lined them up. Now I'm going to have to put my head in here just a moment, sorry. Okay, now I can't find a marker, but all I need is a center point. Right, I can see that. Oop, actually, now I'll make it a little higher. Yep. And now that's a 1/4 inch. Well, it's a 1/4 inch socket, but I've measured, and what I need is a 9mm hole right in the middle of that. I've got plenty of room to work with, but I want it, pretty much in the middle. there it is. Drilled the hole through and just screwed in the socket and screwed it onto the guitar. I'll take it off there because it's not wired up and I still have other work to do on the guitar, but just some idea of how that will look. It's quite an effective solution, I think, given that it initially looked like an unsolvable problem. I consider that to be pretty much solved. That really covers the main differences between the two Telecaster builds that I've got on the go. All that remains now is to get the hardware on, get the wiring done, and do the finishing. I said that I would do a video about finishing once I had covered both of these Telecasters, but the simple truth is I'm not yet very good at finishing, and I can admit that. So I'm still working on that, and when the time comes, though, I'll make sure that I show you. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is jump over to something else that I've got on the go at the moment, which is a return to the Toronado project that I stopped when I injured myself. So I was really pleased to get back to that, and I will take you back to that with me in the next video.